In the world of comedy, you can encounter great comedians that will make you remember their performances. There will be also talents that show a lot of opportunities, and there will be talents that get stuck in their bad performances but still make it. But then there is a last group, and this last group I call it the most hated comedians. And in this video we will be precisely talking about the most hated comedians that you may know or that you may not know yet. Hope you guys are ready because this train is about to roll. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. The first person we have on the list, which I call level 1, is Miss Ellen DeGeneres.
So Ellen's a pretty good name, you know. That's a tough job for a parent to name a kid the rest of your life. That's a big responsibility to be a parent. I'm a godmother now. He's 4, he's this big, in case you ever see him. And calls me God for short. I think that's good.
Ellen, before her most famous show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, she was a fully fledged stand-up comedian that got the opportunity to have her own show. She was very different from your average Joe, telling jokes around the corner. Instead, she was a beautiful woman that can joke like them comedians.
I don't think I'd want to be a mother, though. That's just such a big, You see these mothers with babies, and they always talk for the baby. You always walk up and you say, "Oh, what a cute baby. What's your name?" The woman always say, "My name's Tammy." Say, "I'm 4 weeks old."
And that's where her talents come from, to the point where she got the deal of a lifetime and got her own show called The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which made her a very wealthy woman. Through 19 seasons of the show and almost $100 million in the bank, Ellen's show starts to show a decline in audience. Many controversies comes out to light, and everybody discovers that Ellen was not as much of a good person as everybody thought. Behind closed doors and behind the camera, her former employees were saying that they were working in a very toxic environment because of her, where she would treat the whole staff badly. She would abuse them with racial slurs and then bully them. And all of these accusations actually represent the total contrary of what the Ellen DeGeneres Show represents.
Ellen is like an old,
but it's a rough one now.
It's a rough one now because she was running Abu Ghraib in the back of her show. That's a rough one. She's out there dancing with Kristen Bell, and in the back there's people that are getting up on the rack like this.
It's so weird when you see like a lot of people saying that someone who seems so nice is not nice at all.
She doesn't seem nice, but that's people have a very poor judge of character. She doesn't seem nice. It seems forced. People that are like that all the time, she doesn't seem nice. It's very forced. And whatever, you're allowed to be a bitch, right? You're allowed to be a bitch. You're allowed to be nasty to people. You're accomplished. You're a comedian. You did the whole thing. What you're not allowed to do is have a Guantanamo Bay situation in the backstage.
And when people found out, that was it for her. Ellen got canceled, her show got canceled, everything got canceled, and she disappeared. Bye, Ellen.
Bye, bitch.
Now we get to level 2. And in level 2, we have Mr. Dane Cook.
My manager at the time called me, goes, "You got a gig in Florida." I said, "What the fuck? Am I even funny in Florida?" He goes, "No, there's no budget. There's nothing at all." I said, "I'll do it." He goes, "All right, good. You got to start driving right now. The gig is tomorrow night." Guy that I'm meeting, his name was Don. He just flicked the cigarette towards me, and he fucking zoom, and he blew all the smoke. He blew so much smoke, and then he walked through the smoke like Michael Jackson. The only thing that could have made it better is if when he came through the smoke, a white tiger fucking jumped out with him.
And Dane was absolutely adored by his fans, but he absolutely was hated by the comedy community, and I will tell you why. Through many controversies and stories, he concluded that they were jealous of his success, while in controversy, they actually hated him because he would steal jokes and use them in his shows, which I remind you, that is the #1 thing not to do, especially around comedians. He copied other comedians like Louis C.K., Dimitri Martin, and his performance gave him critics saying that he is the worst possible comedian for doing such things. And slowly but surely, he started to disappear from the main spectrum. And then at the end, he finally went into ghost mode.
I don't know.
Well, it turned around on him when that whole Louis C.K. plagiarism thing came out, and there's a lot of shit going on. It
Was
it
he
was
supposed to have stole something from Lewis
Oh yeah, like a lot of things. Yeah.
before Lewis was famous?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Louis was.
Get them while they're young.
Well, Louis wasn't young. Louis was older than him, but Louis, he made it first. He broke through first.
Right.
Now we're getting to level 3. It's starting to get really chilly around here. And right after that, we got Brennan Shaw. Brennan was previously a UFC fighter that got invited to one of the Joe Rogan Experience podcasts. And through many defeats and Joe's encouragement to get into comedy, he decided to get into it completely. Let's just put it this way. Brennan is not funny. He might be friendly funny when he's with his buddies and when they're hanging out, and he might be funny. He might be telling a story and that story is funny, but when he's actually in front of a whole audience, he's not that funny. For example, he released his first comedy special on Netflix in 2019 titled You'd Be Surprised, and that got him an IMDb rating of 1.4 out of 10 stars. Damn, that humiliation though. All of that work, all of that hard work, so that at the end you are confronted in front of millions of people around the world being seen as the worst comedy special ever. Even Joe Rogan himself, his buddy, came out and said to him that he shouldn't probably continue comedy because he was that bad. But guess what happened? He did not listen, and that was not enough for Mr. Brennan Shaw. 3 years after he released his first special, he releases a second one called Gringo Papi, which received an IMDb score of 1.1, even lower than before. And with these numbers, he couldn't even stream his special on Netflix or neither of the big streaming platforms. Instead, he uploaded his special to his YouTube channel, where he mostly got a lot of hate and a lot of bad comments, with people not agreeing with his sense of humor, which I totally understand.
Well, like you're on this show because you have a special coming out.
Correct.
That I want to talk about.
Thursday.
This Thursday? Wait, next week.
Next week, Thursday.
Okay, so this will be coming out 2 days. Oh, awesome. Where is it coming out?
YouTube. Decided to do YouTube.
You're a YouTube. Are you a vlogger?
No, not at all. No.
You do YouTube?
You know, try.
You're doing great.
I mean, my nickname's Thick Boy. Yeah.
Thick Boy.
Yeah.
So many C's. And we did jujitsu classes together. And
I didn't know you did jujitsu.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For how long?
I can roll, bro.
For how long?
I can roll. A couple years.
All right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Does wifey handle the discipline?
Super strict. She's Latin, runs it like fucking Stalin.
Same with you, too?
Strict.
Like she runs your shit? Like
No. Don't get twisted. No.
What? We got to go to dinner.
Wait, right now?
I think so.
A 42-minute boys only episode? Is that how long?
We got to go to dinner, bro.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Brennan's problem is that he is not very skilled and he doesn't have that much experience actually as a comedian. And he tried to blow up all of the steps to actually go all the way to have a special on Netflix and have that notoriety and that kind of humor, for example. And I guess he flew too close to the sun and he got burned. That's a lesson right there to be learned, guys. And right after Brennan comes Carlos Mancia in level 4. And this guy had one of the weirdest reputation ever. He was funny, but the moment everybody found out that he was actually stealing all of his jokes as well from other comedians, he started going down. And his downfall started actually with Joe Rogan again. Joe Rogan comes out and posts a blog saying, and I quote, Carlos Mancia is a weak-minded joke thief, which says that the latest and most disgusting joke thief of all of this is a guy named Carlos Mancia. The crazy thing is that's not even his real name. He sells himself as being Mexican, but the reality, his real name is Ned Halls, and he is actually half German and half Honduran. The Mexican hook is something he did to integrate himself with the local Mexican population of LA, where he started from. End of quote. Wow, there's some bullshit right there. And after that happened, Carlos Mencia was getting so much heat that he had to go and confront Joe Rogan on the comedy scene, and that scene is where he got absolutely destroyed by Joe Rogan. I'll let you look at it.
I'm somebody important enough that he had to end the show by saying Carlos Mencia. That's who I am.
Yo, bro, how difficult it is for comedy. You don't know that nobody supports comedy. You don't know that nobody. If someone steals a riff from a song, that shit's in the news constantly. Motherfuckers steal shit and make it on HBO. They steal shit, they put it on television. What are you saying? Listen, I know you
He's
guys
saying that you're acting like a little bitch.
No, you're not saying that.
Yes.
You're agreeing with me, motherfucker.
They're not agreeing with you. They don't even know what the fuck I do. They don't even know what the fuck I do. They don't know shit. You just talk shit. It's easy to say you steal shit. I could say you steal shit, but I don't, because I'm not a little bitch. No, let me tell you what I think. I think that every time you open your mouth, you talk about me, I think that you're secretly in love with me because you can't shut the fuck about me.
Other artists came out and said that Carlos stole their jokes. Comedians such as Paul Mooney, Bill Hicks, Ari Shaffir, and Bill Cosby as well. And after this feud, Carlos Mencia decided to own to himself and declared that yes, he was a thief, and he gave all the comedians a heads up saying they better watch their content because he will always be there in the shadows, ready to steal a joke to make it a hit. And from that point on, that was it for him. Every other comedian came to destroy him actually, and they were successful because he went on from having full arenas to playing in little clubs.
You know, I mean, I've always believed if he just fully just was apologetic and said, you know, I'm sorry for stealing in general, because we don't know specifically, I mean, there's specifics, you know what I mean? And I don't want to argue every case, you know? So I thought the healthiest thing to do was like in a broad way, listen, I stole, I'm so sorry, these are the reasons why, and I'm a different guy now, but it just never happened in that way. For one reason or another, he, because there are probably jokes that he legitimately in his heart know that he wrote, that people are accusing of stealing, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, we don't know, right? So it's like, just apologize for all of it, right? But he won't. He fights for every, you know, every point. And, you know, I just think that that's not the route.
And this is where, in the latest level, level 5, we have Tom Segura. And throughout his career, he has known many ups and downs. In the latest years, Tom became less sympathetic and more pretentious, with a super ego after his net worth reached more than $12 million. His numerous remarks treating people as poor while he's got money in the bank.
Every time we talk about like a watch or a car, I'll get a bunch of messages from losers that try to tell me that I'm making them feel bad about their situation. You're in control of your own situation and your own feelings. So don't put it on me that you feel bad, that I have something that, oh, but I'm struggling with rent this month. Figure it the fuck out, okay? Like, don't make my life be a problem for your life.
This is exactly what I despise about people when they make money and they start on being pretentious and going around and thinking they live in their whole new world or whatever. And it's exactly why we're not even gonna give Tom Segura the pleasure of talking about him even more, because he doesn't deserve it. But if you want me to talk about him more in deep, let me know down in the comments below for a part 2. And on that note, guys, thank you for staying until the end of the video. Make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, especially if you want a part 2 to this series of the worst comedians ever. And also subscribe to the Guccino for more interesting and epic stories. Peace.